So, hello everybody. You can see me talking and I wasn't doing anything. So, good evening. Yes, we're not going to do any, I'm just going to bring that up. Mods will hold, I mean, shoutouts doesn't really matter. I've got the things coming up on the center. If you want to shout people out, you can do it. It doesn't do any noises, but if you want to hold shoutouts to the break, that's up to you guys. I don't really care. I'm easy either way. So, but usual story, any of our streamer friends come and visit, shout them out, do the thing and the stuff. But yes, welcome everybody to D&D Sunday with our new campaign, or our second campaign in the Paradym world. We will be introducing some new players to the world of Paradym, players that I would say probably had a reasonable amount to do with campaign 1 from a viewer's perspective, as opposed from a player's perspective. So we will see some familiar faces. We will hear some familiar NPC names throughout the campaign. We will probably see the return of at least one of a previous player from our previous campaign. As everyone would know, Queen Evldoa is the only Lions of Beyond member that still lives, so we will definitely see Queen Evldoa at some point during the course of this campaign. As to when that will be, who knows? It just comes down to story and what's happening within the story itself. Obviously, as you can see on screen here, we have the updated version of the Paradym map in all its glory, all nice and prettyful and colourful with all the moving bits on it. Yeah, Evldoa's getting a little bit old and cranky. I mean, by dragon years, she's probably still in her sort of earliest years, I would imagine. I mean, ancient dragons lived to be a long, for many thousands of years. So she'll be around for a little while yet. We all miss Het the most. I bet you do. I bet you do. Anywho, so because we forgot to roll for gold last week, and that was an oversight on my part, I've had the players roll for their starting gold before we started tonight, so that's all been sorted. Yeah, so I suppose we should just get right into it and get started in reintroducing the realm of Paradym proper. So, the year is 397 PD, post-Dragon War. The realm, Paradym proper, people of almost all races live here in relative peace. But this was not always so. For approximately a century ago, a great evil threatened this realm. And from the Order of the Black Lions Adventure Guild rose a party of heroes who became known as the Lions of Beyond. In fact, in the center of the capital city, a statue commemorating this group still stands to this day. Much has changed since that time, however. All but one of the lions remain, which is our sovereign leader, Queen Evldoa the White, also known as Evldoa the Champion of Men. A fair but stern ruler, in honor of her friends and late husband, necromancy has been outlawed within the realm. Resurrection is only granted under the most extreme circumstances, and to this date, in the last century, this has only happened maybe twice. The only form of resurrection that is legal in the realm of Paradym is reincarnation, if you are able to find a druid willing to perform it, that is. But not all have been eager to accept the appointment of a dragon as the sovereign leader of its realm. Over the years, some still loyal to the cult of Kosis have, and still believe he will return, have made many attempts on Queen Evldoa's life, and thus far none has succeeded. Of course, those that worship the archdevil Asmodeus still rear their ugly head from time to time also, believing that he will rise and seek his revenge against the realm of Paradym. But with the formation of the dragonscale militia at that time, a more than capable defense force has been protecting the realm for that last century. Many times, all manner of creatures have either attempted to attack the capital city or other outlying areas, and in one instance, a breach from the Nine Hells had been opened, a smaller one, but was dealt with quickly. The main keep, the Dragonscale Keep, which lies to the northwest of the capital city, houses almost 10,000 soldiers. And this is not the only keep which houses the Dragonscale militia across the realm, but this is the main training ground for its armies. Teleportation has also been all but abandoned in the last 80 years or so, as the formation of many anomalies have caused many issues with the arcane and Paradym. The scholars and mages have spent the last 50 years examining and trying to learn as much as they possibly can about these anomalies and what may or may not have caused them. Some believe it was directly as a result of Asmodeus' attempt to merge the realms, and that those veils still remain thin, therefore causing these arcane issues. Others believe it's something less sinister, a reforming of the ley lines perhaps, or even just a random occurrence. But no one seems to agree at this point on what is causing it. But it happens. Infrequently at this point, but it seems to be growing more frequent as the months go on. As we see the realm today, it is early in the year. The weather is starting to warm as northern Paradym itself is coming out of a particularly harsh winter. The winter here in Paradym as a whole is relatively harsh, but the north was hardest hit. Many lives lost, and a lot of crops and that also lost in the northern territories. We then come to our capital city. The city of Evldoa is flourishing as trade has been booming over the last 20 or 30 years. At the center of the city lies the grand palace, if you will, of Evldoa and her children, and a lot of children her and Het did have. Across the way, not too far away from there's a city barracks and the dungeons. The Evldoa arena, still in use today as it was so many years ago. Namaris the Bloody remained champion for a long time before her passing. A new champion has recently been crowned, however, and he seems to have won his freedom from his gladiatorial role. Many people in town are talking about this new champion, someone not of any royal line or great house, but just a common man. Fishermen, traders, the port has grown to twice its size over the last 100 years, and trade from across the realm is prevalent here. And of course, to the northwest, as we said earlier, home to the Dragonscale Militia and the impressive Dragonscale Keep. It is on the second day, which is Janreth of Azrael, we see a group of potential recruits lined up in front of the keep in a semi-formation. Obviously, these are all recruits. I don't really know exactly what they're doing. And as they wait, the couple of guards standing in front of them, holding them there, the gates open, heavy banded iron wooden gates, 15 feet tall, spiked tops. As you look up at the sort of 30 to 40 foot walling of this great keep, you can see the occasional archer patrolling the top. You hear from the inside the sounds of training and murmuring of many people, as is definitely heard from this close to the keep. We will now head over to our keep. So, as the gates open, you see two men standing upright, striding towards you. The taller of the two is a half-orc, easily spotted. About 6'6", very broad shoulders. In fact, I'll show you exactly what he looks like. Bring this up here. If it's going to let me bring it up on the screen. What the hell? Why will you not bring it up for me, for my players and everybody else? Oh, they've changed that, sons of bitches. Okay, so you can only just see it on the screen inside here, guys, because I need to make an adjustment here. Let me see, 1 second. How rude. They made a change. It used to come up in the center of the screen. Now they brought it up on the left. But my screen for the viewers, I need to make an adjustment here so you guys can see it. There we go. Too easy. So, as you can see, he wears a particular set of armor. Blue cloak, silver trim, gold trim on his armor, not blue, but his pauldrons are quite different than the second gentleman that you see, who is walking beside him. A much shorter gentleman, both held in a very military stance, however. This particular guy is a dwarf. He carries with him a large warhammer. Similar armor, different pauldrons, obviously giving a different rank. Same cloak, yet his is trimmed in silver, not gold. So as these two wander forward, the taller of the two walks directly up to the four of you, or five of you, sorry, and starts to speak. I'll turn over to the general.
Now, recruits. And he walks back and forth, pacing the line of them, looking at how they're standing. I am General Brogda. You will address me as Sir, or yes, General Sir. Am I understood?
How do you spell that? I'm just making some notes, sir.
Balanced. It's yes, sir, or yes, General Sir. And he looks to the dwarf beside him. It's going to be like this again, isn't it?
Aye, indeed. For in disgrace.
Sir, yes, sir.
Finally, thank you. Right, since you answered properly, we'll start with you.
Oh, crap.
Tell me, Private. State your name.
Oof, Smartridge.
Did you say doof?
Think you might have something in your ears, sir.
Keep your
answer is
trap
yes,
shut
sir.
and answer the fucking question.
Oof.
Excellent. Note that down. Looking at the dwarf. Do I know the dwarf's name? I guess I do.
You do, Sergeant Stormhammer.
Sergeant Stormhammer. Note that down, Sergeant Stormhammer. This is Private Doof. Private Doof. And
Right, yeah,
Trashy,
sir.
if you can describe yourself.
Please, Trashman, describe your character.
Now you're asking. Damn. Human, of course. Hang on. Where'd I go? Losing the plot here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what
Now you can describe yourself.
Hey, I gotta
Height,
find this.
colour of hair, eyes.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting, no, wrong one.
Why do you
That's
not
the
have
one
your
I
character sheet open?
I do have it. I just never mind. Okay, my height is 5'9". Black hair. My skin is sun-kissed, so a bit burnt here and there. And brown eyes. Not much to really look at, just
Rough,
normal human.
rough approximation of age.
Early 20s.
No problem.
And Doof, Private Doof, what?
Oof.
No, it is Doof from here forth until you earn a rank where you, well, we, myself and Stormhammer here, decide. You get called a better name.
It's at this point that the sergeant, the dwarf, is sort of flanked around behind the general and has moved around to your to your side, Mr. Smartridge, and has cracked you in the back of the leg with a baton, which doesn't do damage, but it's enough to bring you to one knee. And he just leans in and says, "You speak when spoken to, lad. Stand up."
Yes, sir. Ow.
Now, Doof, what skills do you offer your queen?
I'm a fighter.
Ah, Sergeant, he's a fighter.
I'll test that later, sir.
Good. Let me know the results. I step aside along to the person next. Who would be next in line?
We would say, let's say Tolver would be next in line. Dragonborn. Well, looks like a Dragonborn, slightly different.
Tolver has stood tall and straight. He says, "Sir, General, sir."
I like you already. I've seen you around, haven't I, young man?
I travel, but I've been in town for a few days, Sir, General, sir.
Suck up.
Smartridge gets
Silence.
another crack from the dwarf. And this time, I suggest you stay down there, lad. Give us 10 while you're there.
Sergeant, if he interrupts again, cause him damage.
Count it out, soldier.
1, 2, 3,
And as he's
4,
counting, I carry on.
5, 6,
So, what's your name,
7.
son?
8,
My name is Tolver,
9.
General, sir.
10.
Tolver. I do like you. He looks around. But for now, Private Trollboy, understood?
Understood, General, sir.
Well done. Now, and give us a description of yourself.
Tolver is red dragonkin. He's wearing a red cloak, which it's unhooded because he's got green eyes, red skin, and it sort of under his cloak. It sort of looks like he's wearing a vest, but it's actually his wings wrapped around his body.
No problem. Moving on.
So, Trollboy, what skills do you bring your queen?
And Tolver lifts his axe, which he's holding right at the hilt of just at the blade, up to his chest, and the blades on both sides of his two-handed great axe are stained red. I use this, stuff falls.
That's good. Hopefully your training, when you do it, we can see how well you use that thing. Anyway, stand down.
Yes, General.
Next.
So next you would probably come across a small cloven-hoofed individual with goat horns.
You. What's your name?
Various, sir, yes, sir.
What are you?
I'm a satyr, sir. Part goat, part man, I think describes it best.
Vegetos, Private Vegetos. I like it. You look like a vegetarian.
I mean, not really, sir, but okay. Nicknames are fun.
Nicknames are fun. Be quiet. What do you look like?
So, Marius is 5'9". He's got dark black hair and a beard that sort of just meets the end of his chin. He has horns that curl back round the base of his ears. He's not dressed like a man who would be signing up for military service. He's in a fine suit. And he's got very hairy legs that end in tiny little cloven hooves. And he is in his late 20s.
What is this attire you bring to the man's army?
Well, it's all I had, you see. I've not long got here.
Sergeant,
So,
we make sure we get this goat lean a decent attire.
I will have them
All of
dressed like soldiers in a matter of an hour, sir.
Good work. Always rely on you, Sergeant. So, tell me, Private Vegetos, what do you bring skills-wise for your queen?
Well, I'm quite good at survival and hunting and nature. At least I've read a lot. And maybe like those skills aren't practical skills, but I've got a lot of theory.
Bit of a
Your
talker, sir.
practicality does come across that way, Mr. Stormhammer. If you can use your weapon as good as you can use your mouth, it might work out fine for you. Sergeant, and he leans over for more of a whisper. He's going to need a lot more press-ups.
Indeed, sir.
Right, next.
Next, you probably would, at this point, would definitely notice the tall, bald gentleman at the end of the line, probably passing over the shortest one in the group, just at the moment. As you sort of look down the line, you would recognize him as one of the newer champions of the arena. The general frequency arena, so as do many of the soldiers, as a way to pass the time and gamble. So you would definitely know who this particular individual is by name. You would know him by his probably by his last name more so than his first, which is Champion Hornwalker.
You are huge. What is your name?
You're muted, dude. Oh, we've lost your microphone. We cannot hear you. Oh, it says you're there. Uh-oh. You have lost Mr. Sadiq. There we go.
Working?
Working.
Working now?
We have you back.
Excellent.
He's a bit of a mute, sir.
Would you mind repeating that, son?
They call me Mograss.
Still can't hear him.
I can hear him.
Oh, I got nothing on air.
Hang on a second. Let's see what we got here. Just say something, Sadiq.
Say something, Sadiq.
Yeah, I've got him in.
1, 2,
I've got him in my ears. Stream can hear him.
Okay, I wonder why I can't.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
that's weird.
weird. That is very weird.
I actually
I can.
can.
Okay,
So
you
can I.
can. Tracy can. Wow.
Video does not like me.
games with us, man.
I also can't see him in video.
Okay,
No, I can't see him in video
Okay.
either.
Mr. Sadiq, would you disconnect and reconnect, see if we solve that issue?
Oh, that's wacky.
That is odd. Sorry about that, chat. Technology. Who would have thought we'd have technical difficulties on session 1, right? I mean,
It's not too bad. It's going well so far.
but while we're waiting for Marith to come back, we will move over to the shorter of the two. As it seems Marith just he seems like he's a little confused. Give him a moment.
Oh, I missed one. You're short down here. Did not see you.
The whole time you'll be hearing her go, "Don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. Whatever you do, don't fuck up." "Yes, sir. General, sir."
So, state your name, Private.
"Dodgy Timbers, but call me Dilly. Maybe, if you want to. I don't know. Do you really want to?"
You're
Sir?
rambling.
Yes, sir?
Listen. Private Dolly whimpers for you, because that was a lot of whimpering.
I agree, sir. It's the worst whimpering I've had for a while.
Listen, to be in this army for your queen, you want to be straightforward and precise. Is that clear, Private?
Sir, yes, sir?
No. Dolly whimpers, give it to me again.
Sir, yes, sir! She'll
Much
do the
better.
whole salute thing that...
Much better.
We don't
Keep
do
it
that
up.
around here. No saluting. This is a real man's
sir.
army.
And Dilly will actually look down physically to make sure that she still has boobs.
So, give us a bit of a descript of her as she's looking down.
Okay, as Dilly's looking down, you'll see that her hair is like a very light brown. She's in clothes that are slightly, just a little bit too big for her, like it's not quite gnome size. She has bright green eyes, her skin of golden color. She's 3'5", very slight, and she has very prominent, and you can see her constantly touching it, earrings in both ears. One's different from the other, and she's constantly making sure, as if she's making sure it's still there.
Stop that. Put your hand at your side. Now, tell me, what skills do you bring for your Dragon Queen?
I like to play with lightning, sir.
Good gods, playing with lightning is a dangerous, dangerous thing to do. I hope you wield it well.
Most days.
We need more decent mages on front line, sir.
Frontline mage. Private Whimpers, that's you.
Sir, may I demonstrate something else, sir?
No, you may not.
Answer him, Whimpers.
You just said I couldn't.
That's right, and you say,
I said so, yes, sir. I'm sure I did. Did I
and
not?
again.
You call me Sergeant, nothing else.
Yes, Sergeant. Sir? Sergeant.
Oh, there's a lot of training to do here, Sergeant.
Indeed, sir.
And you.
I think I got my... You shut up! I've enough out of you.
Yes, Sergeant.
I'm going to deal with you later. Smart boy.
So, finally we come to the big man. I know you. Nonetheless, give us your name.
Murgrath, sir. I think. Yes, Murgrath.
Murgrath. I like how it ends in wrath. I have seen you fight. We will call you Private Minor Wrath, and as you build up, you might get to Major Wrath in the end. But for now, just Minor. So, give us a description of yourself, Murgrath.
Murgrath is 8'1", about 290 pounds, 18-year-old Goliath, full white skin, yellow eyes, wearing like ripped leather pants that he's probably found off someone else and just put them on. And a furry waistband belt that holds miscellaneous items, and he's holding a double bladed scimitar.
Nice, cool. So, Private Minerath, what do you bring for your valiant queen, your great dragon queen? What skills do you put forth?
The ability to kill, sir.
The ability to kill with this? And he sort of points at your weapon.
If need be, with these as well, and he holds out a hand.
That's a good start. Don't forget, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, General, sir.
Well, Sergeant Stormhammer, you've got a lot of work on your hands, I see.
As always, sir.
Report in frequently, let me know how they are doing. Otherwise, all of you, you need to work as hard as you can. Push through the ranks and serve your queen as best you can. For here, only the strong survive. The weak will die and be thrown aside. Do you all understand?
Yes,
Sir, yes, sir.
Sir, General, sir.
Yes, sir. General.
Yes, sir.
Good gods. Sergeant Stormhammer, may all the gods be with you.
Sergeant Stormhammer is just standing there shaking his head. And yeah. If that will be all, sir, I will carry on with your promotion.
I take my leave. And he nods and walks back through the gates.
So as the general departs, thank you, Baz. I'll get you to DM me those names for the recruits as well, because that'll be funny as hell. So as you watch the general turn and almost march, like he's not in a full military march, but you can tell he's been a military man for a long time, even probably most of his life. He holds himself very upright, chest out, shoulders back, and he walks with purpose back towards one of the doors leading into the main keep. Sergeant Stormhammer paces backwards and forwards in front of you guys for a couple of minutes, just not saying anything, just looking you up and down. As he walks in front of you guys, I need everyone just to roll first roll of the night for everybody. Can I get everyone just to roll a dex check, just a straight dex check? There's not anything too major about this at the moment.
6.
Holy crap. We've got a 7 and a 6 there. And we got a 6 from Dilly. So as the sergeant walks past you, Uth, as the first in line, as he comes back past you, he eyes you up and down. He gives you a very poignant look, as if to say, I've got my eye on you. Passes you, Various. And I think Varys might be too scared to be moving at this point, but he's bolt upright, his hands are to his side, he's at full attention, not wanting to draw any attention to himself. Tolvir is also holding himself very well. Marat seems to be a little fidgety at this point. Maybe he's definitely not used to this level of discipline, perhaps. Maybe just uncomfortable or itching for a fight, who knows, but he's a little backwards and forwards on his feet. And as the sergeant passes Dilly and Marath at the end there, he stops, not looking at you directly, Dilly, and just stops in front of you, facing the other way. See, I got my work cut out with you. Stand still, lass. Hands to your side. Chin up. Chest out.
Yes, Sergeant, sir.
No, sir, just Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
And he walks past and then stops and literally turns and looks up at you, because he's in a, like 5 foot ish, just over 5 foot. He's relatively tall for a dwarf, but he's still definitely got to look up at you. He says, I know you. I've won a fair bit of gold betting on you in the arena. None of that matters here, however. You're here to work. You're here to grow stronger. You're here to protect the Queen and the realm of Paradym. All of you. He starts strolling back. And he stands in front of you all and says, right, before we get you all dressed up in your nice wee uniform, before we get you all dirty again, you must take the oath of the dragonscale militia. So, raise your right hands. And he waits for you all to raise your right hand. Does anyone not raise their right hand?
Billy's looking at both of her hands, going, yep.
Yeah, it's that one, lass. You got it right. What about Matt? Does he raise his right hand, or does he actually? Does he stop?
He puts the sword, puts his the
scimitar, yeah,
dual scimitar over his back like a pole arm, holding it like a pole arm, and he waits for everyone else to do it, and then follows.
You see Sergeant Stormer visibly sort of take a breath in before he composes himself and says, right, all you have to do when I finish this statement is say I do, and then we'll take you inside to sign the contract, and you'll be mine for the next, well, till you die, basically. So, simple as this. I hereby swear to uphold the laws of Paradym proper. I hereby swear to protect the Queen and her children and all denizens of Paradym against all manner of creature and all humanoid, no matter what. This is the part where you say, I do.
I do.
I do. I do.
I do.
For fuck's sake, say it like you mean it.
I do, Sergeant.
I do, Sergeant?
Fuck me. Dragon Boy, speak up. I didn't hear you.
I do, sir.
Sergeant, I'm not a sir. I work for a fucking living. Alright, you lot. Right face, follow me. And he turns to his right and waits for you guys to do the same.
As we're walking, I'm going to go, did we just get married? As we walk past.
How loud do you say it? And who do you say it to?
I'm saying it to the first person who's in front of me, because Dilly has no clue.
Which would probably be various, I think was the line we had there.
And it would be quiet enough that she's hoping that the sergeant won't hear, but she doesn't know because she's very quiet at the moment because she's a bit confused.
You seem to have gotten away with it, as the sergeant has not heard.
It's possible. I'm taking notes, though. It's very confusing.
However, seems you got away with it, Various. He was focused on something else, perhaps, as he leads you in through the large gates which close behind you.
Hope there's some good grog here.
Shut your face! Uth, you're right in front of the line. He definitely heard you. As he leads you towards a large set of double doors on the far side of the keep. It takes you a few minutes to get across the front part of the keep here. As you walk through, you're in the center in what would be almost like a training ground. As you look over to your left, without being too obvious about it, without being caught, you would see that there's several soldiers training with swords and staves. There seems to be an archery range at the far end. It seems to be several archers practicing there. There seems to be another range to the left of that, which kind of hard to tell, but it seems like that might be where maybe the arcane users practice their particular skill. It's kind of hard to tell from this distance. The inside of the keep is several buildings on the inside as well, scattered around the inside of the building, but the walls, as I said earlier, 30 to 40 feet tall. There are catwalks and that surrounding the walls. There are several towers with parapets, large ballista on atop them. You can see some of the ballista quite clearly as you walk across. And he then leads you to this double door, pushes it open and ushers you inside. All right, this is where we're going to outfit you with your new duds. Personal belongings go there. Come over here so you can be measured, and we'll get you into your uniform. And he ushers you all inside. And as you get inside, you see 3 or 4 female soldiers dressed in not full armor or anything. They're in just a basic sort of shirt and pants and boots, but they are the same color. Dark brown sort of pants, a dark brown leather boot with a blue jerkin type shirt with lacing in the front, which matches the same color as the sergeant's cloak. So you get the impression, I mean, you've seen them, all of you are from the realm, so you would have seen the Dragonscale Militia around. You know they all wear the same style uniform, the color's the same, and things like that. So you definitely have an idea that this is the uniform that you're going to be wearing for a while. So they measure you all up. They have to get a stool, even probably a step ladder for you, Marath, because you're just so freaking tall. These are humans, but even humans are not as tall as you, and they sort of get up to measure your shoulders and the length of your arm and stuff. But you're all then presented with a small pile of clothing, 2 shirts, 2 pairs of pants. Who do you say that to? One of the ladies. You get a crack across the back of the knee again, as the sergeant has moved across the room. Cracks you across the back of the knee. Again, hard enough to hurt, not to do any damage, but hard enough for you to know that if you don't keep your mouth shut, you're going to be in a parachute real soon. And he just, again, leans in and just quietly but very sternly says, "Keep your mouth shut, son. Next one Sergeant won't be quite so nice."
Sorry.
There you go.
You go, Drax.
As the 2 ladies are measuring up to Alvear's back, he's going to, 1 second, and he's going to unfurl his wings so that they can measure around them.
With that, you get an audible gasp from one of the women, and even the sergeant goes, "Oh, for Christ's sake!
So
oh shit! We're gonna have to come up with a different fucking shirt for you, aren't we?"
2 red wings straight out, just so that they can measure around them.
Not a problem. Easy enough done. You are then presented. Yes, Marith, you want to say something?
I'm gonna just say to the sergeant, do I have to wear the shirt, Sergeant? It's not really my thing.
You'll do as you're told, son. You'll wear the shirt. Don't care if you take your sleeves off, though. Your arms are kind of your arms are kind of big anyway.
So as soon as he puts the shirt on, grab the sleeve and just rip the sleeve off on both sides.
You get the impression that the sergeant's seen something similar before. Thanks, Nutty. I will fix that. So, with that, you were then presented with 2 shirts, 2 pair of pants, 2 pairs of boots. He says your personal weapons and belongings will be brought to your buttocks by these fine ladies here. Follow me. And he then leads you through a series of hallways and eventually arrives in a small barrack room. Set of bunks. Seems to be 8 all up to 4 sets of bunks. 2 on each side of the room. Each have a footlocker at the end. 2 footlockers at the end. Is like almost like a small cupboard locker in between on either side of each one. So there's enough lockers and footlockers for each of you. And pretty much tells you that you have 10 minutes to get dressed and to assemble back out in the parade ground. And he leaves you to it. So this is where you guys have a chance to maybe discuss amongst yourselves for a moment. Where you believe you're out of earshot of the sergeant at this point as he leaves the room and closes the door.
Second the door closes, Tolby will be pants off, clothes off, and getting done. Right in front of everyone, no concern whatsoever.
Awesome.
Yep,
Same-
this is going to
same
be
as
a
me.
great punch. Really, guys? You're taking your clothes off? Really? Jeez. Show
Wow,
some
he's-
respect.
Red and scaly everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, that,
Dilly's going to go to a corner and hope that no one can see her, and she's going to cast minor illusion of the wall, and she's going to get dressed behind it, and then neatly fold up her clothes, and hope no one's seen it. Then once she's dressed, she'll drop the illusion.
No worries.
Those guys were super serious. I can't remember the last time I had so much fun.
Fun?
And Barrios won't be modest either. He's folding up his clothes and he's checking his new pants to see if they've got a hole for his tail. And if they don't, he's going to cut one into it. Can't have my tail cramping.
They will not have a hole for your tail, so you will have to amend that situation for yourself.
I'm seeing how many pockets I've got.
You have 2 pockets.
Oh, this is not. Yeah, go.
Villainous, Vari, what did he call you? What am I supposed to call you?
Who, me?
The hoovy one.
Oh, something. I mean, my name's Varius, but it was Vegetus.
I'm sure they'll tell us when we get back out there.
Yeah.
As soon as I've gotten changed, I've walked out.
The big fella's not much for talking, is he?
I'm checking the bed out before I leave.
Well, they have got the tall and the short of it, don't they, in this group?
Tolby will cut 2 holes where the shoulder blades are on the shirt with his axe, and stretch his wings basically straight up, holding the shirt up to pull it down over it,
Nice.
and then he'll put his axe into the bed, like so it's sitting on the pillow with the handle coming down it, and tuck it in, and then go outside.
Just a question. You don't have your weapons yet, do you?
No, no, you don't have your weapons at the moment, Drax. Sorry. Yeah.
They said they put personal things in there.
No, the woman that measured you guys will bring your personal items and drop them off a little bit later.
I'll forget that then.
No worries. It sounded good though.
Sorry.
So Varius, you have a book too.
Yeah, I'm trying to write everything down. They wouldn't let me write it down while they were talking, so I have to remember it after the fact. And I find that I missed some details that way, but it'll be all right. I think we should go. The sergeant seems kind of
Pushy?
high-strung. Maybe
that
cholesterol
too.
problems.
Yeah,
They're
highly
irritable
possible,
brow,
yeah.
probably.
As Tolby didn't have his axe, he's going to use his claws to cut the back
Okay,
of the
no worries.
shirt instead.
No problem.
I feel like I should actually leave while he's doing that, and Dilly will actually start to walk out the door and stand right in front of the door, not looking in.
I'll be one of the last ones to get changed.
I don't doubt that in the slightest.
You're welcome.
So we'll just so Marath was the first out of the room, and then Tolver, I believe.
Tolver will try to get out as soon as possible.
So Marath and Tolver, and then Dilly sort of. Did you follow suit after that?
No, I went before. I didn't want to see any more of him naked.
So you went. So okay, Marath, Dilly, Tolver. Then I'd say probably Various, and then Uth last.
Are you coming, Mr. Uth? Or are you going to take a nap?
I better not. I'll probably get in trouble.
And
that's probably true.
As you check the mattress, Uth, as you said that before, I did hear you. It is hard. It's almost like a plank of wood. There's not a lot of give to it at all, and you've just got an advantage in the chat.
Thanks, Bess.
Courtesy of the general. You're gonna need it, I think. So as you guys make your way out to the parade ground, Marath, you get there first, and you see the sergeant. He's waiting on the parade ground, and he sort of looks over your shoulder, or sort of around you, not over your shoulder, around you as you come out, and sees Tolver shortly after. Then a few moments, Dilly, and then Varys, and then of course he waits for Uth for you to sort of roughly line up. And at that point, he looks at you all and says, "Right, time to find out how fucking coordinated or not you are. First things first, I'm not here to be your mammy. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to train you to be a fucking soldier. And how not to die in the middle of a fucking combat situation. We're going to teach you how to walk and talk and act like a soldier of this fair country of ours. You are here to represent the Queen and the realm as a whole. You're here to uphold its laws. I don't care what you've done in the past. It's what you do from now moving forward that counts. Do you understand?"
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
You know you're supposed to do it at the same fucking time, for fuck's sake.
Well, to be fair to me, my mic was muted.
I know. I know. But I gotta do it. Do you understand, the recruits?
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
We're getting there. It's your first day. I got to cut you a little. No, I'm not. I'm not cutting you any slack at all. Mr. Smarty Pants on the end there. What the General call you? Oh, Mr. Private Doof. I see I'm going to have a problem with you. Don't know when to keep your mouth shut, or I'll shut it for you. That's the last time you speak, unless you're spoken to. Do you understand, soldier?
Yes, Sergeant.
I hope so. Right. Follow my lead. Right, face! And he snaps to the right. And he's standing in full military attention. And he snaps to his right, expecting you to follow suit.
Dilly would have done it the minute he said it.
That's what Tolver.
Does Marath know his left from his right?
He'd be watching other people and following what they do.
Okay, so you'd say, would it be fair to say slightly behind everyone else, just in reaction time?
Just slightly behind.
Okie dokie. How do you think, as you know your character's best, Uth, how do you think Uth would fare in this more militaristic sort of turn? Would he attempt to mimic the sergeant, or would he try and get away with being a bit of a smarty pants again?
Probably mimic the sergeant.
Okay. So as you all turn to the right, he clocks, every one of you notes that, Marath, you're a little slow on the turn, but you get there. All of your posture's just not what he expects you to be at this point. He knows you're not soldiers yet. He doesn't expect you to be perfect, but he expects you to follow orders. He then simply yells, "And march! Left, 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 right, left!" And you start marching around the parade ground. You make your first turn. You watch him as he gets to the corner, and it's a very big, large rectangular parade ground. So it's not like you're just walking around in a circle. You get to a point where he snaps to his left and turns and marches down the shorter area of the parade ground. I need you all to roll a dex check again as you reach that corner, attempting to follow suit. Bear in mind, these DCs are not set high, purely because of where you're at in your training.
So
Dilly.
I rolled a 19 and got 18. So yay!
So Dilly with an 18. So the lowest was Various. Everyone else did pretty well. Even Marath, you did reasonably well on that turn. He notes this and sort of Various, you sort of just get out of step as you turn and you think shit, and you try and get yourself back into step, and it takes you maybe a few meters, a few yards down the thing to get back into the step of things as you continue marching. You make your next turn, and then your next turn. For the next hour, all you do is march. Up one side of the parade ground, you turn left, come down the other side of the parade ground. You got soldiers in the middle swinging swords. You can see the soldiers shooting bows. Now, as you get closer to that end of the parade ground, you see other soldiers in different robes casting all manner of spells, fire-related spells. Occasionally, you see Dilly. You'd probably notice it as probably Varys as well, as a little bit of an arcane user yourself. One of the mages cast a spell. You're not entirely sure what it was. It looked like it was a fire-based spell. But then you see a puff of butterflies just start encircling around their head, which seems odd to you. But then again, you've been aware of the arcane anomalies yourself and some of the random things that are happening, but it still strikes you as they're pretty butterflies. A little bit odd, but you sort of take notice of it. By this stage, we're starting to draw into the mid to late afternoon. He marches you round for another hour. This is a choice for you guys. We're going to make a collective, we can either make a collective dex check based on a success and failure, or you can all roll, we take an average for your next hour or so's worth of marching. So you decide whether you want to have someone roll it as part of the group, or you all roll together.
Average people?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, why not?
So everyone roll
I'm
together, we'll
sorry.
take an average, no worries. So everyone make your rolls. We got a 4, we got an 11, we got a 6.
I got an 11. I can't believe I beat
We
it.
got 2 11s. We got a 4 and a 6 and a 17. So the 17 bumps you up just a little bit. Again, raw recruits, he's not expecting too much of you. But he does yell at you a couple of times to sort your shit out, because you're not. It's like Marath, he turns around to you at one point and says, for Christ's sake, if you got 2 left feet, how'd you ever win in the arena with moving like that? I'm pretty sure you just let them hit you in the face a few times and just until they fell over exhausted. And Uth, he does crack you a couple of times. At one point, you're not entirely sure why he cracks you in the kidneys, but you get the impression he doesn't like you very much. But for the next hour or two, you continue your marching. Your marching is not bad, but it's not great. As the sun starts to get low in the sky, he calls a halt. He says, right, that's enough for today. Time for chow. Head that way, through those doors, go get yourself something to eat, something to drink, and then hit the sack. I will be back to get you at sunup for tomorrow's training. And if you're not awake when I come and get you, you'll be held to pay.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, Sergeant.
Dismissed. So at this point, you have been dismissed from the parade ground. You head to the door which the sergeant has directed you to, and you find yourselves in a long hallway, and you follow the other soldiers. You see many, like dozens of other soldiers moving to a very large stairwell. It goes down 2 or 3 flights of stairs and you end up in a large mess hall, which seems to be beneath the keep. There are just lines of tables, and you see the line of soldiers lining up and sort of in file-like formation, filing through and getting essentially a tray almost of random food. Behind the serving up the tray, you've got several different soldiers in their uniforms as well. But at the back, you can hear this muttering from behind a wall. You can't really see anything, but you just hear this almost like whining coming from somewhere. And then you hear the crash of a frying pan. You hear the squeal of a soldier, and a soldier comes running through with a finger missing, holding his hand. And he's going, "Fuck! Medic, she did it again! Oh my God, I'm going to run out of fingers at this time. Help!" And he just tears through the mess hall, heading towards a medic, presumably. And you just hear a cackle from the kitchen. And not that you see this person, but yes, I can yell out if you want me to. But yeah, there's a bit of chaos happening in the kitchen back there. But you receive your food. It's basic, nothing flash. You've got some form of mashed vegetable, root vegetable maybe. Could be potato, could be anything. Yams, carrots, parsnip. You're not entirely sure. It's just a mash. And then the meat, again, you're not entirely sure what type of meat it is. If you want to try and discern what the food is, you are more than welcome to make a survival check. Otherwise, it's up to you. I mean, you guys will be relatively hungry. You've been working pretty hard for the last few hours. A lot of marching. Something that I say Dilly and various, probably Uth as well, definitely not used to that kind of physical labor. Marath and Tolvir probably not so much. Probably it's been a while for you, Tolvir. But Marath, you've come pretty fresh from the arena, so you're used to physical work. So it wouldn't worry you too much.
She'd be used to being on her feet that long, but the actual marching itself would probably
pretty
be hurting
intensive.
right now.
Yeah. Pretty sore calves and probably the bottom of your feet are pretty well. You probably got a few blisters in that as well, I'd imagine. Not used to the boots, the type of boots that you've been given.
Dilly's normally barefoot.
There you go then. So I'd say Dilly definitely suffering from a blister or two. Various probably doesn't wear boots, so he's probably clip-clopped his way around the parade ground.
I don't think they'd have boots that would fit Tolvir.
Oh, they got. As you run around the parade ground, you noticed there was Dragonborn out there. Okay. There was a manner of races, Minotaur. I say Paradym's pretty broad with its racial span, so. Especially over the last sort of century with the fall of Kosas, more of the dragon races have become definitely more prevalent, as you would know yourself. So you find yourselves a table. I would say up to you whether you sit together or not. But it seems like you've been possibly lumped together as a squad at this point.
Dilly would probably go up to Varius, because he seems to be in the similar sort of situation as she is with things. How are you?
I'm fine, but that's a very inefficient way of walking. I've done a lot of reading, and I'm pretty sure studies show that left foot, right foot is far less efficient than one foot in front of the other. I think there's been a lot of studies done. It's very slow and cumbersome.
He was only calling out that you had to do the left foot. Then you're meant to do the right foot on your own, and then the left foot again.
Oh.
It's about timing, to get you used to timing. The only thing I wish that would happen is that he would let me walk in front so I don't have to stop squashing you guys.
That's very considerate of you. I'm going to take notes.
That's okay.
Well,
I'll just go in between your legs.
From now on, you can go in front of me. I don't mind. Actually, you could all go in front of me. I don't mind.
Somehow I don't think I fucked up as bad as he did. And I'm pointing to Tavor.
Tolvir.
Or Tolvir.
Is there a nice cold spot where we are?
The whole place is pretty cool because it's underneath the keep. So I think they've done it that way on purpose for the food specifically. So I would say that's definitely cooler.
I'd definitely have kicked off the shoes and put my feet against the most coldest surface possible.
Which would be the floor.
Dilly would have taken off her shoes the minute she could kind of technically hide them, and again, minor illusion around them to make it seem as if she still has shoes on as she's taking them off.
Okay, so if you're trying to hide the fact you're taking your shoes off because this is a military establishment, although you're not really used to it at this point, let's give you a bit of ambience here. So you guys are all having a meal. I mean, this is a quiet tavern, but it'll do. So it'll be a lot louder murmurings around the place, a lot more soldiers here. I mean, there's probably several thousand people in this room. This room is huge. Probably 50, 60, 80 feet wide, 150 to 200 feet long, and it's just tables and tables and tables. You get the impression not everyone eats at the same time because there'd be obviously those that like night guards that spend a lot of time during the night. They'll be sleeping during the day and working at night kind of thing and eating at different times. But if you wish to take your shoes off without being seen by several of the ranking officers in the room, you'll need to make a sleight of hand.
Two. Yep, I'm starting to think I'm going to change over to normal dice.
I have normal dice 7. Oh, no. I was so hoping I could get away with deception because I'm doing minor illusion.
Oh, you're doing a minor illusion as well?
Yeah, I was doing minor illusion as I was kind of trying to take it off.
You will find that in this particular area, your spell will probably not work.
Okay.
So as you sort of, so you use your earring as a focus, yeah. Mm-hmm. So as you sort of reached up and touched it and were concentrating on being able to cast that, you would feel that something's not right. You get the impression that certain areas of the barracks do not allow the use of spells and have either been warded or have an anti-magic something somewhere.
So she'd be slowly sliding off one of the boots and going, fuck. Just slide a hand and it's 7. So. And
as you both do that, you're seated together. Seems like a younger human sort of leans into you both and just quietly says, "I wouldn't let the corporals or sergeants see you doing that. You might get into trouble. Just a heads up. I mean, I've been here about 6 months, but tried the same thing. Got 6 lashes for it. Just a warning." He sort of just taps the table and moves on.
Jilly slowly slides her feet, wincing the whole time, putting each boot on, ready to almost, that whole it hurts so much I want to cry, but I'm going to not cry kind of face. That's the face she's making.
Uh-huh. Indeed, I've been there, done that hiking many years ago, putting boots on blistered feet.
Told me to just sit tonight.
So, as the meal progresses, many people, you guys look around, you see that a lot of these soldiers, obviously a lot of them have been here for a while, and you see the ones that have definitely been here for a length of time, they eat, they up they return their tray to a pile at the end of these tables that have been set up, and then they're gone. They're there for maybe 15 minutes tops. They sort of eat, down it, and get out, and head to wherever they're off to next, whether it's their bunks for the night or night patrol or whatever they're doing. So it doesn't take very long for a lot of these soldiers to finish their meals and leave.
Tolvir would eat, and he'd return his tray, and then he'd go outside.
Dilly will turn around and go, "Oh, so it definitely is irritable. Wow, considering how fast they eat." Right. I think we're supposed to eat real quick, and Dilly will try to eat quick.
If you're not used to eating fast, can I get a con save from you, Dilly, please?
I'm taking my time.
Again, these DCs are set pretty low, so...
I don't know if I want to waste an advantage on it.
What'd you get? You got a 4? You're not going to vomit, even though 4 is low. Definitely probably not what you want to be wasting advantages on, just to let you know there. There's much more better things, more interesting things to waste your advantages on a bit later. But you definitely get a guts ache from eating so quickly. It doesn't sit right in your stomach, and it's just how you get almost like hunger pangs, but it's sitting right at the top of your stomach. It's not a nice feeling. You've eaten way too quickly, but you're okay. You just have that really annoying stomach ache, which is probably going to keep you awake for a couple of hours.
I'm going to go, yep, definitely irritable bowel. Oh, no.
Various will turn to talk to Dilly and then see that she's in pain and turn to the others. Do you think after the next training session there might be time for Q&A? I've got a lot of questions. I've written them down.
You can always ask. Whether or not they give you an answer that you actually want to hear is probably debatable. They don't seem to be about the whole hold your hand and talk type thing.
That's very good advice, and he's sort of writing it down and just saying it.
So Tolvir, you got up, finished your meal, and headed back towards the bunks, right?
Tolvir would go outside and probably sit outside their barracks or wherever that building was, and sit there for about 10 minutes, and then he'd look down and go, "Oh, not used to this," and start doing push-ups.
Okay.
Set a 10 with his hands, set a 10 with his wings.
Nice.
Set a 10 with his hands.
What's your base strength? 10, isn't it?
10.
Just give us a base strength check to see if you can. It's been a while since you've done this kind of thing, so let's see if muscle memory kicks in. Seems it does. Seems, even though you haven't done anything like this for a long time, memory's still good. You still remember how it works. It's at this moment that you hear, and as you stop, Sergeant Stormhammer is standing watching.
He'd quickly get to his feet and go, "Sergeant, sir."
As you were. Off the clock now, son. But Private Trollboy, you've done this before, haven't you?
Long time ago.
I know a soldier when I see one.
Long
So,
time ago.
in saying that, you keep this up. Keep your head down. Do what you're supposed to do. You'll be my squad leader. I guarantee it. Just remember, shit rolls downhill in this sort of outfit, right?
Yes, sir. Sorry, Sergeant.
Your squad fucks up. It's on you.
Understood, Sergeant.
But for now, we'll see what happens. But I got my eye on you. As you were. And he sort of turns and heads. You can see he had his hand behind his back as he turns. You can see he's got a bottle of something in his left hand. And he takes a big swig from it and heads towards what you would probably assume would be an officer's barracks, or it just looks like a slightly better building than what you're at. But it's definitely noticeable.
Yeah, Toby would have a smile to himself and then probably go back to what he was doing.
With that, Marath, Varius, and Dilly, you would, by this stage, I'd say, would have finished your meals. Was there anything you wish to do in the mess hall before heading back to barracks?
Dilly would have collected all of their plates, as that's just her, and taken it to where it needs to go, and then would have yelled in the kitchen, "Do you need me to bring these to the kitchen?" Like with the big pile.
You would be met by a soldier in an apron, a woman. Probably, she looks maybe elven, possibly half elven. Kind of hard to tell. She's wearing not a hairnet, but she's got a cloth cap on. And she goes, "Oh, that's right, love. That's my job."
Sorry, kind of used to be mine. And she'll...
They post jobs in the kitchen all the time. Just keep an eye out. You'll be fine.
Okay. And as she's done that, she's going to start walking to the barracks. But as she's walking to the barracks, she's going to wince every time she does it because it hurts. But she's going to hop on one foot, up and down, and then on the other foot, up and down, trying not to fall as she's doing it, just so she can get used to the whole marching.
Oh, the left foot, right foot thing? Okay.
Not so much that she doesn't know which one it is. It's more the case of just knowing that she can balance herself.
Yeah.
Because, she just wants to get that up to speed. And that's how she's doing
No worries. Not a problem. Duly noted. Various Marath, are you then following suit, heading to the barracks? I dare say Mr. Uth is still eating.
Mr. Marath, I have a question if you don't mind.
No.
Is that no you do or no? Anyway, are you a really tall human or are you something else?
I'm a Goliath.
And that would be, and he's like jotting it down.
That would be a Goliath?
Right, that's very specific of you. I'll look it up later. Thank you.
No worries.
Are you going to come with us, Mr. Uth?
Yeah, almost done here. I won't be long.
What do you suppose the meat was? It had a weird taste to it.
I think it was goat.
Yeah, possible.
Goat. Oh, was that a joke?
No,
That is
I literally think it was goat.
Oh, yeah, goat's kind of tough.
Didn't you see all the goats out the back?
I was too busy trying to left foot, right foot.
Yeah. Although, do you really have feet?
I mean, technically, no.
So wouldn't it be left foot, right hoof, right, left foot?
I suppose it would. I wonder if the military take those things into consideration. I should add that to my questions.
You can always ask them, yes.
I just wish they used sandals instead of boots.
What's wrong with the boots? These boots are fine, kind of, for low grade and all that.
I've always fought with sandals. This feels wrong.
finish my meal and take it up to wherever it needs to go.
And with that, I assume you all travel in relative togetherness to the barrack building where you'd been housed inside the keep. Where you would probably still find, I guess, Tolvier would still be outside doing whatever he's doing, whether he's still doing his press-ups or what is he still continuing with that sort of thing?
Yeah, 2 on, 2 off.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, sets.
No worries. So two arms, 2 wings. You probably find you've got a few bystanders at this point, because I mean, even though there are definitely dragonkin and other dragon races in the realm, the dragonkin specifically isn't seen very often, especially ones that are openly flout their wings, such as you are. So you got a little bit of an audience. They don't sit, like, they're not bothering you or taunting you or anything like that. They're just taking notice.
Tolville noticed him taking notice, but not noticing, not making it obvious he's noticing.
Okay, not a problem. And it's a short time later you spy your new squad mates as they stroll from the mess hall doors that they entered in, and strolling across the parade ground towards the barracks.
So as Dilly's hopping, she's going to hop around her red friend or new red friend a few times, 3 or 4 times around each foot, and then she's going to continue on to the barracks. The first thing she's going to do is going to check her locker to see if her book is in there.
All your possessions would indeed be where they said they would be. Nothing's missing. The rest of you, if you did the same, you would check your lockers, and all your personal belongings would be where they said that they would be put. After all, this is a military establishment. This is the dragonscale militia. These guys are not one for stealing anything, of course. Oh shit, something's bubbling in the background.
Probably Nutty making coffee.
I just realised that my ambient folder just is all set to play one after the other. Can't have that.
So as I'm checking my stuff, I'm getting out the book, and she's getting out the crossbow that she has. None of the bolts, just the crossbow. And she's going to start to polish the crossbow, making sure it's okay, that it's all checked, everything's in gear and all that kind of stuff. And then she's going to start writing in her book. What is the weather like, by the way?
It's actually pretty clear tonight. As I say, it's coming into the spring, so the nights are becoming clearer and warmer. Get the occasional breeze come through, which is still a little chilly off the mountains to the north. But tonight, as the sun has started to set on the horizon and the skies turn from sort of the blue to the oranges and reds, purples, into the darkness of the night.
Just gonna open up a book, look around. Guess not tonight. I'm just gonna close the book up. Just gonna put it back in her locker and safely stow her crossbow so it's in a perfect position where it's not going to get wrecked, damaged, or knocked, or anything like that.
No worries.
And she's going to go up on the bunk.
While she's doing that, I'm rolling my dice.
So you're just sitting. You guys have a small table and chairs in that room too. So you have somewhere almost like a common area inside the barracks where you could sit and chat. Obviously, including the bunks. It's like just a small round table with say probably 8 to 10 chairs sort of lying around, which you could use.
So I'll get back. Do we still have our old gear?
Your old gear's in your barracks room, yes.
Yeah, all right. So I would change out of the uniform into the leather pants.
Okay.
Lay down on the bed. Go too soft, and then curl up on the floor beside it.
No problem. Your legs would probably sit 2.5, 3 feet out the end of the bed anyway. These beds aren't exactly designed for a Goliath in the first place.
Yep.
So you get the impression that they don't get many Goliaths joining the army, or any large creatures generally. So Marath does just that. Curls up on the floor next to the bunk.
I think Tolvir might notice the Goliath walking past him.
I think so.
Yeah. 10 minutes after that, he'd probably join the cabin, join them inside.
No problem.
He'd also go to his locker, pull out his axe, tuck it into the bed, and then go to sleep under the bed.
No problem.
And after a nice late night, as I like to usually do, I'll climb into bed. And
So how late is late,
group.
Mr. Smartridge?
About 12.
So you're talking well into the evening.
Yeah.
No worries.
And when I go to bed, I'll look at all the others and go, wow, I've hit the bunch this time, haven't I?
Various Dilly.
Dilly actually would be on her bunk, still with her boots on, because at this point she doesn't think she'd get them on in the morning.
Fair call.
And she would still be in her clothes, just because she's not comfortable getting undressed around these people, so it's still new for her.
No worries. Various, what is Various doing before sleep?
Varys would sit up for a bit and write some more notes, and then he'd go to the people closest to his bunk, and he's like, I just thought I should let you know that apparently I snore quite badly, and I thought I should inform you before we bed down. I apologize in advance.
So the sleeping order's up to you guys, because there's only the 5 of you, and you've got literally 8 bunks in this room. So depending on where you want to be in the room, it's like 2 bunks on either side. So the beds themselves are in reasonable close proximity. So end of bed to end of bed with a foot locker at the end, there's probably only about 4 or so feet between them, enough space to walk down in between the bunks. So
I'll be taking
all of
Eddie in the
your companions would be relatively close to you, I'd say, Various, at this point.
I'll let everyone know then.
Just to give you a sort of context on the room. So
Yeah, I'll take any middle.
okay, so there's no real middle one. Like, so you got 2 bunks on one side, 2 bunks on the other, giving you 8 beds. So top and bottom bunk. So top or bottom for you, Uth?
Bottom.
So we got a floor, and 3 bottoms, I'm assuming, because I don't know if
no,
Dilly on the top. Okay, Dilly climbs up the top.
Because of what Dilly is, she would want to be up there.
Ah, true. Yes, I would have to agree. That makes sense. Various.
And she'd be close to the wall.
Yeah. There are windows if you want to be close to a window, Dilly. He's on the left-handmost wall would be the 2 or 3 windows, which would sort of look out over the parade ground almost.
Yeah.
Various.
I'm going to look at Uth and go, I'm going to sleep up here, and I'm going to climb up on the
above
bunk
him?
above,
Okay, no worries.
above Uth.
So, I mean, Earth is probably going to stay up a bit longer than you guys, unless you're going to stay up with him, Various. But you choose the bunk above him, definitely, not a problem. And we'll probably call it there for a short break. Everyone grab a drink, use the bathroom. We probably ran a little longer than I intended for that, but that's all good. We'll take a short break and come back, and you guys will have a long rest. So we'll be right back, chat. Don't go anywhere. And we're back. What's up, guys? How's everyone tonight? Hope everyone's doing very well. Good to see you guys in the chat. I see lots of the family, all of the D&Ders in the chat. There we got Magic, Yanti, JJ, everybody else that's joined us tonight. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. While we're in, before we get back into it, can we get another lot of shout outs, JJ, if you could please, for the usual crew, all the streamers in the chat, Magic, Yanti, whoever else is in there. I'm not actually sure who else is there from the streaming world, but make sure we get some shout outs out there. Saw Vancouver by Night was in there as well. Make sure those guys get a shout out as well, please, if you will. Thank you very much. But we will head back over to the Dragonscale Keep at this point. So as you guys prepare yourselves, most of you don't, I'd say Marath on the floor doesn't have many issues falling to sleep. Nice hardwood floor. It's probably still softer than most floors you slept on. Tolver, again, no dramas getting off to sleep. It's not something he's not used to. Dilly, Various, and Uth, however, I would say these hard military beds, definitely not something you're used to at all. Uth, you've probably spent many a night in a comfortable inn or a stable somewhere, nice soft straw bed. So this would definitely be very uncomfortable for you. Dilly as well, you used to but actually you're probably
it's
much
more
the same.
Probably the indigestion that I've got at the moment.
More than likely, because so where you worked wasn't a high-end establishment, so they wouldn't have had the best beds, but they wouldn't have been as hard as this. They're definitely a lot harder than you used to. But I'd say, yeah, the indigestion is definitely what's keeping you from falling asleep easily. You eventually get there without too many hassles. Uth probably tosses and turns for a while before eventually drifting off. Various, I would say you're probably not used to the solidness of these beds either.
No,
coming
he's
from
strangely pleased about being discomforted.
I would say so. Knowing your history, definitely. This is kind of what you were looking for when you arrived here and signed up for this. You were looking for something out of your norm, and this is definitely it. As I say, you don't know much about this realm or this place in general. So it's all pretty foreign, but interesting at the same time. So I'd say Varys probably struggles to get to sleep, not out of discomfort, but just out of his mind whizzing about what are the events of the day, the things that he's seen, the different races that he's seen, because I don't know that he would know a lot of the races he's probably seen today. There was definitely a few Minotaur around, and obviously humans and elves, dwarf, half-orc. Especially in the mess hall, you would have seen a lot more differing races that you may not have even knew existed before. So you guys drift off to sleep easily enough, and then the crack of dawn, sunlight just sort of cracks through the window, and all of you are suddenly awoken by the clanging of pots and pans, it seems. Sound is a clang, 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 clang. It's the loudest sound you've ever heard, especially this hour of the morning. This is like right on dawn. The sun's not even fully up yet. And just you're all just rocked out of whatever sleep you're in, the sound of this clanging. And as you open your eyes and sort of some of you sit up, those on the bottom bunk that probably have not slept on a bunk before, Uth specifically, being you're reasonably tall, you sit up because you're definitely not used to being up this early in the morning. You're sort of jolted awake, and unfortunately you crack your scone on the bunk as you sit up bolt upright. They're not very tall bunks. But yeah, so it is very loud, and next thing you hear, all right, you lot, get yourselves out of bed, get dressed, and meet you on the playground. We got some training to do. Move it!
Can I have 5 more minutes, please?
Sure, Buttercup, you'll have 5 more minutes. If you're not out there in 2 minutes, I'll come in here to get you.
Jilly's already walking behind the sergeant.
I
Sorry.
can do with 2 minutes.
Jilly is already walking behind the sergeant.
Yeah, because you're already
'Cause she was
dressed.
already dressed.
Indeed. So Dilly is up and moving.
Tolvere would roll out from under the bed and go out. He never undressed. Just went straight in there. When he gets outside, though, he will kick his feet ground. Like, you know how when you kick backwards to knock the dirt off your feet?
Yep.
He's going to do that so that his claws stick out through the front of his boot.
No worries. Which it probably would. I mean, they were big enough, but your claws are pretty long when they need to be. The sergeant doesn't seem to notice too much. And he's waiting, and about a minute after he spoke to you, Earth, he comes in and turfs you out of the bed onto the floor.
Oh, the beat
Get up, move on!
Damn. Yes,
Move
Sergeant.
it, move it,
What?
move it! Do you move?
Yeah. Naked.
He throws your clothes at you as you sort of stumbling across the barrack room, pulling on your shirt, your pants, your boots as you're stumbling along with him right behind you, yelling at you to get a move on, and eventually gets you back out on the parade ground. And once again, second day in a row, starts marching around that parade ground. It's boring. It's long for 2 hours before the sun rises. It's cool. It's definitely a lot cooler this morning than what it was yesterday afternoon. But for 2 hours you march around. Not going to make you roll for this one, but you guys managed to do okay. He then stops you and says, right, now need to find out exactly what you're made of. See if you've got any natural talent at all. Right. Minerath, you're first. Let's see what you got, boyo. And he steps out into the middle of almost like a training area. It's like an oval with sawdust and sand. Something you'd be very familiar with your particular background. Not unlike some of the fighting pits maybe that you've been involved in your very early life. You literally step over the railing without even having to climb over it, as Sergeant Stormhammer himself steps into the middle of this little arena, if you will. Takes his cloak off, hangs it over the fence, takes his pauldrons off, his gloves, pretty much down to almost a bare skin. Like he takes his most of his leather armor and everything off, and stands in the middle, sort of gripping and cracking his knuckles, waiting for you.
The only thing I would do is take my boots off, go over the fence, take off one boot, put it on the fence, take off the other boot, put it on the fence, and then, crack the neck, do the arms. It's like, okay, so how are we doing this?
Guy.
At that point, he strolls over past you, Marath. He says, I'll be with you in a moment, boyo. And walks over to you, Earth, and just sort of gets over to you and does this finger down, like bring you down to his level. And he's given you you a pretty good look, like you get your fucking face down here. And do you bend down?
Yeah.
And he snots you right in the jaw. It sits you on your ass. You didn't even see it coming. He's quick. He's a lot quicker than you gave him credit for as a dwarf, and he socks you hard. You'll take 1 point of bludgeoning damage. as he splits your lip and probably cracks a tooth or two. He says, "That's the last time. Next time, it'll be far more severe. Remember where you are.
Yes, Sergeant.
I'll take no more of your lip. You've earned your nickname. I can see that." And he then turns and sort of taps you on the, probably as far as he could reach, probably on the midsection as he walks past you, Marath, and says, "Right, let's see what you got." And you guys square off. So what he's looking at here is just, it's not a punch up. It's basically looking at a wrestling match almost. So it's going to be strength versus strength. You can describe how you move, what you sort of do, and things will be basically DCs, and that'll be set based on that. So it'll be based on how you describe the way that Marath moves and attacks his opponent. So there's going to be no initiative. It's just going to be, you describe what you do, I'll describe what he does, and retaliation.
All right.
So he waits for you to move.
I guess it'll just be a straight out, like, one armed, try to grab him by the other arm to try to, get him into an arm bar type thing.
No worries. So you step in, your wrestling skills, your skills as a champion of the arena, instincts just kick in. You know how you need to move, you know where you need to go, and you sort of move around him. He's a little smaller than most opponents that you've fought, which may be a little bit of a disadvantage at this point, but you're strong enough. You manage to whip yourself around him, almost going for the back, but he steps and offers you a side instead. So I'll get you to roll a strength check for me. I'm going to roll a strength check as well. So your strength versus his strength. Pretty even. 14 for you and a 14 for him. He holds his ground. He doesn't budge. He digs his feet in, moving his stance out to sort of counter what you're trying to do. You don't manage to sort of take the arm, but you're in a relatively good position at this point. But he's a lot stronger than he looks, so it kind of takes you by surprise.
So I go look at him and go, "Yes, excellent." And then go to like face palm his face at the same time with my other arm.
Yep, no worries. I'll get you to roll another strength check, please. Ooh, that's not so good.
Yeah, that's not a good one.
That's not so good. Well, he didn't roll much better. He got a little higher, but not much. As you go to grab, sort of face palm him, you grab him, and you hear him sort of snigger as he does so. As you do so, and you sort of slightly muffled. "Wrong move, sonny." And he sort of reaches, you feel his foot inside your lead leg, and then he steps and moves and just pulls back with his heel, almost tipping you backwards, dropping you back in a stance. I'll get you to make one more strength check. You're too good for that, though. As he shifts his weight forward to push you back on yours, you slide your other foot behind you and just drop that hand that face palmed him under his armpit, and you roll through. And as you roll through, sort of rolling backwards and roll through, you throw him over, sending him sprawling as you do so. And as he sort of gets up and turns, he's again pretty quick. He turns, you ready yourself for maybe return attack, and he just stands up and just laughs, big hearty sort of barrel-chested laugh, and says, "I can see why you're a champion. Well done. All right, we know what your strength lies. Let's see where you, smarty pants, Mr. Doof, get your ass in here.
Yes, Sergeant.
And as you turn to leave the arena, Marath, Sergeant Stormhammer stops you, steps in front of you, and says, No, son. We're going to teach this boy to be part of a team. For every time he gets in trouble, you all get in trouble. So, the next time he cops it, you're all going to cop it. So maybe you might want to teach him a lesson. And he walks picks up his gear, puts his gear back on, climbs back over the fence, and pretty much as you go to step over the, probably reluctantly, Uth, I would imagine, he shoves you into the little pit area. You sort of arse over kite and says, right, this one is going to be a punch up. None of this grappling shite. It's too easy. So, let's see what you got. Inspiration to Mr. Sturb from Sticks and Stones. So this will essentially, you are not wearing any armor, either one of you. So obviously this will be your natural AC, whatever that will be. You are able to use your abilities in this particular battle. So if you have, i.e. for you, Marath, you have rage, so you're able to use that. It is essentially an unarmed combat, so as far as any spells and that would be slightly different. Sergeant may not look so kindly upon the use of spells. This is just a test of strength or a test of ability. So attack away. I'll get each of you to roll initiative at this point. So this one will be initiative based. So we've got a natural 1 from Earth, the first natural 1 of the campaign.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
And we get a 9 from Marath. So Marath, you get the initiative in this particular battle. You're a little bit stronger, a little bit faster maybe than Earth at this stage. He's a little bit hesitant to even be involved in this, seeing that you are full almost 3 foot taller than he is. So you get to strike first, roll to hit. So it's just a basic unarmed attack. I believe that will miss, unfortunately, even unarmored. What is your AC unarmored, Trash?
11.
Okay, so it is a miss. He seems a little quicker now that someone's throwing fists at him. He manages to dodge out of the way. Uth, you get to return your attack. You guys describe exactly sort of how you're attacking too, if you want. What strikes you're using? Yes.
I have a question for the DM.
Indeed.
Now, with one of my abilities, it says propel your weapon. Now,
you don't have a weapon.
It would be I know. In this case, it would be my fist. No, okay.
No. Unfortunately, no. Nice try, though.
I thought I'd ask.
Yeah, it specifically says your weapon, so.
Awesome.
So it's just an unarmed strike. So how are you striking back? You kicking, you punching? What exactly are you doing? You don't have to kick or punch. You can go for a grapple if you want to as well. It's up to you. But ultimately, this is a fist fight.
Well, because of where I was brought up and raised and all that, gonads.
He's going for the dirty gonad kick. 10.
Nah, punch.
That's a hit.
Oh, punch. That's right. Yes, unfortunately, Marath's a little big and a little slow, and you sort of
how do they fall?
You drop to one, almost to one. You don't really need to drop one knee to punch him in the gonads. He's quite a bit taller than you, so you slam him right in the nutsack. Roll a Constitution save for me, Marath, please. Again, DC's not super high, not at these lower levels. 13. It's 13. Not. It hurt. It definitely hurt. and you get that pain in the pit of your stomach, but it doesn't make you throw up or anything like that. Makes the eyes water a little bit. I think if anything, it just makes you angry.
Yeah, it's gonna make me angry a lot.
We're not going to do any damage for this either, guys. So don't worry about damage. But yes, so you definitely hurt him, and you definitely get the strike. So that's what you won up to Uth at this point.
So with Action Surge, how's that work?
Action Surge is an ability that you have.
Yep.
But it costs you a superiority die, I believe.
You can take one additional action on your turn. This.
Yeah. So I think you've got three superiority die at this point. I believe.
Action Surge is.
Oh no, that's just once per long rest, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's
a one-off thing.
Yes, it's been a while since I played a fighter. But yes, Action Surge you can use.
All right, so I'd like to use
and you got once per short rest, so it's the only time you can use it. So you're going to go for another shot?
Yes.
At the man beans?
Yeah, I'm going to try and do a leg sweep to knock him down, of course.
No problem.
With 12.
You'll need a strength check on top of that, because he's a big boy. You definitely connect.
Yeah.
He hits, but let's see if he actually knocks me down.
Yeah. It's going to be,
9.
He's not budging. He's a tall unit, and he weighs quite a lot. He definitely catches you just not quite high enough, just below the knee joint. Like normally he'd want to catch you in that sort of knee, and behind the knee to sort of buckle you over, but not quite. You're a little bit low. So Marath, you get to respond to that as he's dropped and tried to sweep the leg. So he's sort of half prone at this point.
Well, after the dirty shot, I like to rage.
Yes, you watch as Marath just looks at you, his eyes bulge, the veins in his eyes just bulge as he looks down at you and grits his teeth. And almost, how does Marath rage? Does he roar in a rage, or is he a quiet rager?
No, you'd actually see like foam starting to build up on either side of his mouth.
A little bit like a rabid dog.
Yeah, kind of like a rabid dog. The eyes would get very, very big and like bloodshot around it, and veins starting to appear in the neck and down his body. Yeah, so it's fucking fun. So,
think Incredible Hulk. Just think Incredible Hulk, but just not green.
Yeah, just a white Hulk, pretty much, with foam out of your mouth.
So you rage, and
he would
your
take a
attack.
swing. Oh, come on, really?
Oh, come on! Oh no! A natural one. You rage. Maybe you got a bit of dust in your eye, or the just the rage in itself has sent you in it. You slam down with your hammer fist and just misjudge where he is, as he's a little lower than you thought. You do have an advantage. Actually, you have a D10 as well, but a natural one's a natural one.
Yeah, natural.
Yeah, natural one. The natural one's a natural one, guys. But I'd say this probably pisses you off more, the fact that you missed him. Uth, you got lucky. He happened slammed the ground next to you, and you now look up from the ground, sort of halfway to the ground, as you're scrambling back to your feet, and you look into Marath's eyes, and he is pissed. And all you hear is a chuckling from behind you as the Stormhammer's just having a good old time watching you guys.
So Mr. Sadiq has just received advantage on saves.
You got another. Oh, you got advantage on saves for an hour. We're almost at the end of the session, but I think I'll allow that to roll over to next session, for the first hour of the next session.
All right, so I'm just going to attack one leg, keep attacking it.
So you're gonna, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go for another sweep, or you're just gonna go for the knee?
Just keep punching the knee.
He's gonna strike the knee. So he strikes the knee with a 22. That is definitely a hit. And
2.
he cracks you in the side of the knee, and it kind of drops you to one knee, Marath, as you weren't quite expecting him to hit with more ferocity than you expected from this little man. But it is now your turn to retaliate. You're super pissed. You're not happy, so you can attack back with a 17, which definitely hits. So
I'd like to use reaction.
no. No. That's not how this works.
It would actually be 5 points of damage.
It would be a lot of damage. He would hit you hard as he's raging because it adds extra damage.
I would like to use protective field.
Is that
reaction?
It's a reaction. What's that one do?
When you or another creature you can see within 30 feet of you take damage, you can use your reaction to expend one psionic energy die. Roll the die and reduce the damage taken by the number rolled plus your intelligence modifier. Minimum reduction of 1.
We'll say you reduce to 1. We're not going to let you roll a die because we're not rolling damage or anything here. But we'll say the damage is definitely not as bad as what you were knowing what was going to happen, reacting that way. But he still hits you, and he hits you hard, enough to sort of ring your bell a little bit. You're seeing a few stars, and it's at that point the sergeant sort of says, "All right, that's enough. You're both fucking pussies. I thought you'd do better than that, big man. A little slow. But I think I got the point across. You fuckers got to work as a team. You're a squad. In fact, Throwboy, you're squad leader. Right? That means the rest of you, when I give him an order, he gives it to you. You follow his orders. You answer him with yes, corporal, or yes, squad leader. That's it. Simple as that. Thing is, Throwboy, if they fuck up, it's on you. You're responsible. You understand?
I'm not 100% sure who he's talking to be honest.
Trollboy, that's you.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I thought you might have said tall boy, and then you'll be pointing at the D.
No, Trollboy.
Okay, sweet. I understand, sir.
All right. So, I'm not going to make you get in there, young lass, because you're not a fighting type. You like to shoot lightning bolts at things, don't you?
Do you want to give it a go, Sergeant? See if I can.
You sure about that?
I fall on my ass, but at least I'm training.
All right then. Which one of you boys wants to give the last a go?
I politely decline.
I wasn't going to ask you anyway. So who volunteered?
I'll go. I'll fight.
Hey, we know you can fight. Let's give one of these other boys a go. What about you, Mr. friggin' Dragon Boy?
I will, sir. I have no more.
All right then. Dragon Boy and the wee lass. That means Mr. Vegetos. That was your name, wasn't it? That means you and me, son. Right, yeah, let's go. So first off, we'll have Dilly and Tolver step into the little fighting arena here. And same thing, we'll just roll initiative.
15.
Tolver would say, after you, my lady. And I'll just let her go first.
Oh, you're going to give her the initiative?
I'm going to give her initiative.
Okay.
Good.
So roll to hit. This is again unarmed strikes.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go arms wide, wings wide.
He's going to let her hit her. Okay, he's going to let her hit him.
Dilly's going to go for the tip of his wing, grab it, and put her weight to drag him down.
Okay. So that'll be a strength check.
she's absolutely got no strength because guess who got a natural one?
Oh no! Another natural one. So Dilly is, even though Tolvir is outstretched his arms and wings, sort of pretty much allowing you to take the strike, you jump up to grab his wing. You grab to the bottom of his ring because he's a little bit taller than you, and you're hanging there. You don't even have the weight to pull him down. So you're just sort of hanging there, maybe a foot off the ground, hanging from his wing. Tolvir, you get to respond.
I'm going to use my strength, strength versus her strength, to lift her off the ground in front of me, like, with my wing.
Okay. She's hanging on to it, so whether she lets go is up to you, but you can just roll a strength. Yeah, easily enough. 19. You raise that wing, raising her another foot or two off the ground. What do you do, Dilly?
Since he's done that, I'm going to, since he's lifted it, I'm going to use the momentum to punch him in the face.
Go for it. Roll to hit. Sneak attack.
That will be a 16 to hit.
Does that hit an unarmored Tolvir? That hits.
Yes.
So no need to roll damage. I said Dilly uses, as you start to lift her, she just all of a sudden sort of almost swings forward and launches herself and cracks you right in the jaw. As you do so, Dilly, you do have to let go of the wing to launch yourself in his face. And how do you
probably
land?
sliding down about now.
So you sort of hit him and then sort of half fall, half slide down his body and hit the ground. Ready yourself for a retaliation. So she cracks you good. I mean, again, not enough to do any serious damage, but enough to sort of let you go, oh, she did a little bit of strength behind there.
He'll smile wide. He's got a great shot. And wings wide, he's just going to try and swing with a punch.
Okay, roll to hit. 17, which I do believe will definitely hit Dilly. He returns the punch, although I would imagine Tolvir probably pulls the punch a little.
Yeah. He'd punch her in the stomach.
Yeah.
But then with his other hand, hold her to her feet.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. Yeah, so he hits you, but doesn't allow you to fall. And you probably know that he's pulled that punch because he hits you. It kind of knocks the wind out of you, but not as much as you were expecting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll get you. You can attack once more. We'll get one more attack each in this little battle.
As he's pulling me back, so I don't fall to the ground, and I'm slightly winded, I'm going to double over like I'm winded, and I'm going to roll myself into a ball and roll myself through his legs to actually knock him down like a bowling pin.
Okay. God, there's probably going to be another strength check because you're going to try and take him off his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not probably going to be, because not a lot of weight in young Dilly, unfortunately.
No, every time I try to use my weight, I get a low roll. It's a 3 this time.
So I mean, you probably misjudge, I would say, and roll between his legs, probably cracking into one of his ankles and sort of ending up behind him. And Tolvir, you sort of look down and turn around, like, what the hell? And turn around, she's now behind you.
Tolvir is going to take a step forward and then with his tail attempt to grapple her hand and lift her up off the ground again.
Okay. Strength versus dex. So your strength... A nat 20. Oh, wow.
I'm not even going to bother. My dex is a -1.
So with that, Dilly, as you roll through and sort of turn to see where he is, knowing that you didn't get the desired effect, you feel this, you're not even sure what it is initially, but you feel something wrap around your right wrist, and then you're hoisted up off the ground, back to standing, and you look up and you see that Tolvir's tail has wrapped around your wrist, and he's just turning, looking at you, grinning.
Mm-hmm. At that, she's going to go yell out, "Sergeant, permission to use my skills, Sergeant!"
Ooh, I got to make a roll for this.
Tolvir would say, "Go for it."
Sergeant Stormhammer, just grinning from ear to ear, leaning on the fence, just gives you the nod.
So with that, I'm going to use Shocking Grasp as my cantrip because it's touch.
Yep.
I'm going to roll That is 15 to hit.
Yep.
That would definitely hit.
And I'm going to cast, as my earring glows really bright, it's going to have lightning shoot down from the earring down one arm, and then it's kind of going to go across my back to the other. And it's like a zigzag pattern. And then as I do it, it's just going to electrify it all up to where I'm touching all down the tail.
Nice. One second. So as you release the lightning bolt or the shocking grass, the lightning tracking down each arm and then into your tail, Torvir, you are then just shocked in place. Your muscles tense as the lightning surges through your body. Almost like being tased. You're just in place. Your muscles tense, and then you holding dilly still in your tail because you can't let go until the spell releases. And then all your muscles just release all at the same time, dropping you to your knees. And at this point, Stormhammer says, "That's enough," and he's smiling and clapping, and says, "Right, before I send you a lot off for a break for an hour or so, I think you deserve it, Mr. Vegetos. Let's see what you can do."
Yep, very well. And he's like, got his little notepad that he's put in his pocket, and he's like, "Yep, I think I'm ready."
All right, son. You don't look like you're big. You don't look like you're big enough to throw a punch. To be fair.
But Sergeant, if I do land a hit, do you think I could ask you a question after training? Just
For
one. It'll be
fuck's
brief.
sake. All right. If you can hit me, you got it. You got a question.
Tolvir would get up and laughing say to Dilly, "That was great. Yes, great shot." And he would help her out of the ring and get out himself.
No problem. Duly noted. So, Varios, Sergeant, removes his various bits and pieces as not get them dirty, and lays them on the fence and stands in the center, awaiting. He gives you the first opportunity to attack. So no need for an initiative here. He just nods and says, "Right, let's see what you got."
And Varys just stands there. He's like, "Oh no, come get me, Sergeant." He sort of waves his hand towards you.
He raises an eyebrow and says, "All right, your funeral." And he takes a swing at you. I'm gonna roll me dice here. 13. Does that hit you?
Yeah, that'll hit.
And he pulls his punch, but he cracks you just below the right rib cage, right hand side of your rib cage. Body shot. Reaches back and just reaches under. You guys are comparative in height, I'd imagine. And yeah, he just clocks you just in that soft piece of skin just below the ribs. Crack! And then readies himself, says, "Come on, boyo. Earn your question."
So, at this point, Varios is going to use Mirthful Leap. So that lets him jump up to 8 feet.
Yeah.
So roll the dice. We'll see how high he jumps.
No problem.
Oof, not very high.
You jump a foot.
Yep. So he's going to sort of leap up into the air and then come down with his horns, trying to hit the sergeant in the head.
Okay, roll to hit.
12.
He's unarmored, so that'll hit him. He took his armor off. So you get the shot. He's quite surprised about how nimble you are. I mean, not really, but he definitely didn't expect the whole jumping headbutt thing, and sort of steps back. "Oh, that was a good one. Let's see if you got any more." And he attacks back with a natural 20, and just to show you There's the roll, and the roll there, natural 20 on his hit, and he cracks you double shot, kidney shot, and then smacks you across the jaw with his left, sending you to your knees. That was good. You gotta get better though.
Yeah. I think I might have lost a tooth there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Get a gold one, you'll be fine. So your turn. We'll give you another retaliation here if you want it. So he's sort of in that position. He's dropped you to a knee, so he's sort of half by standing over you, half twisted to his right. So he's in a position where he's a little open, maybe to a body shot or even an uppercut, maybe potentially.
So, Various, having taken notes while the others were fighting, is going to remember back to Uth punching in the ghoulies, and he's just going to like, from that lower position, he's just going to like aim right for the sergeant's private parts.
No worries. Roll to hit.
Not with his horns, thankfully.
Not with his horns? Yeah, hey.
Oof, nah. 4.
Oh, no. Sergeant sees it coming and just both hands down across slaps your fist away and says, I think you guys have been learning to fight in the fucking bars. But, hey, you got to win, all right? But, Jesus Christ. I think that's enough for one day. Bloody hell. All right. Now I've seen you've all got at least a little bit of gumption to get in here and punch it on with someone that you know is probably better than you. Must say I'm a little surprised at you, Smarty Pants. I thought you'd run away screaming like a little girl, to be fair. But it looks like you got some skill. We'll find out what you can. We'll find out what you can really do a little bit later. What do you do?
I walk up to the big dude and put out my head. No hard feelings.
Oh, to Marath, who's probably still seething over the fucking nut shot, I would imagine.
I would more than likely.
As I'm shaking his hand, I'm going further up than down. So it's kind of lifting him off the ground, dropping him down, lifting him off the ground, dropping him down.
And knowing, looking at, Marath's strength, I think you would have a reasonably achy shoulder after that, because he'd be, pretty much, you'd be yanking on that shoulder socket.
No hard feelings. Yep, okay.
All right, it's enough of that, you lot. Right, back in the formation. Got a few more hours of marching to do before you get any sleep tonight. Tomorrow, we'll get you on the training dummies. See what you can do with your actual weapons. See what your actual skills are. But for today, I think you've done pretty well. I mean, put a bunch of freaking pansies. Turn your soldiers into to make soldiers out of you yet. And he leads you, he gets himself back into his armor and dress and sort of gets himself back into that sergeant mode and gets you back into formation and starts marching you again around the program once again. No rolls necessary because that's the end of our session tonight, guys. We're going to call it there and we'll pick up roughly there, probably the next morning, next session, with a little bit more training, maybe some training dummy sessions. Maybe a patrol or two with some more experienced soldiers. We'll see how we go. But thank you everyone for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you players for joining us for our first session of the Paradym 2 Shadows Embrace. I hope the players enjoyed themselves. I know these things, starting these campaigns are might be a little boring to begin with certain things, but we'll get into more interesting stuff as we go. As normal. Chat, I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves with this, with a little bit of light entertainment towards the end there. We'll quickly go around the players now and get a few moments, if any, from this evening. We'll start with Baz, because I know you've got an early start. So Mr. Baz, aka General Brogdar, I'll turn you back on, and we'll get a moment or two from you, please.
Sweet, thanks. Yeah, good show, everybody. Well done. No, there's plenty of hilarious moments. I will just give you a couple. Dilly and Mararath both trying to figure out which hand was their right hand. I thought it was quite amusing. I knew there was always going to be one, but two.
Yeah, I figured it was going to be Earth, to be honest.
Yeah. And then Dilly's use of minor illusion to pretend she's in a changing room or give her a bit of wall space while she's getting changed, right, both early in the game. I thought that's pretty good.
Definitely.
That's it for me.
No worries. Thank you very much, and thank you for playing your role as General Brogdor to begin the session. We may see General Brogdor back again at some point in the future, and we'll definitely see Baz back as his other character, his actual character in due course. When that will be up to these guys at some point. So, thanks once again for dropping in, Mr. Stib. Or aka Marath. So how do we actually pronounce his name? Because it's spelt Mararath and on your character sheet.
Yeah, it's Mararath, but he just likes to go with Morath.
Morath, okay. Well, at the moment he's Minerath, so.
The Trashy hitting me in the nuts. Low
Yes.
blow, but doesn't surprise me because that's the way he likes to roll.
It definitely fits with his character, I'll say that.
I'd also like to say thank you D&D Beyond for truly fucking me once again. Shit rolls all night. Thank you. That's lovely.
It'll get better.
Well,
Eventually.
I hope so.
Maybe.
I've been thinking about some ways to try to get his dex up so his armor class is not 9.
Yes, I knew you'd probably struggle with that a little bit. And again, for all players, exactly that. For your low stats, think of a way to either RP or any kind of training that you want to specifically focus on at any given time, and which will help bring those stats up. So that's the whole idea behind it. Anything else from you, Mr. Stib?
No, that's about it. So that everyone else has got funny things to say.
Miss Dilly, Miss Mina.
Probably Baz's nicknames. I'm sorry, that was probably. I was sitting there going, she's going to say her name's Dilly because she was in the line and hearing everyone else getting nicknames, hoping. And probably the leap and horn shot. And I'm sitting there going, damn it! Because I don't realize what I had on my sheet when I put it down. I'm like,
New characters, we've got to get used to them, so it sometimes takes a little while.
But yeah, I like the leap and the horn shot and him actually getting a crack, which means that the sergeant owes him a...
It does. Sergeant owes Various a question, so make note of that, Grim. Next session, the sergeant definitely owes you an answer to a question. Whether you get the answer you're asked after is a different story. Speaking of Grim and Mr. Varus, we'll go to you next.
So I had 2. Dilly standing there going, "Don't fuck up! Don't fuck up! Don't fuck up!" And Marath like ripping his sleeves off. Like,
yeah, I definitely expected that too. That was kind of cool. Anything else from you? Was that it from you?
nah, that's it.
Tolvir, aka the Drax.
Oh, quite a few. When drill instructor said this is a man's army, and Jelly's like, "Oh shit, am I a man?" Or, just gotta make sure.
Yeah, I'm not hanging on any PC fucking bullshit in this channel, man.
When they're saying, "What's the meat made out of?" and they're like, "Goat meat," and I was just like, "Ah, that's brilliant."
Someone had to say it.
The couple attempted of nut shots, and then Sadiq's rage directly out. Description and timing.
The rage was well done. Unfortunately, the attack after was not so.
And I'll leave it there.
And Mr.
Hey,
Trash
just too
Man.
quick.
And Mr. Trashman, aka Uth Smartridge, or Doof Smartridge, aka Smarty Pants.
See, he's making friends already.
If you call it that.
Yeah. And his training has already started. I mean, 10 push-ups already.
Yeah, he's got 10 push-ups and he's got a fat lip and a chipped tooth.
See, he's making friends. I enjoyed the fighting. That was fun. Sorry, Mr. Steve, for the low blow, but hey!
Once you get to know each other, it'll make more sense.
Yeah, I really did enjoy the in-fighting. That was awesome.
Again, pulled it out my butt. I didn't know exactly what I was going to do tonight. I thought, fuck it, I'll just wing it, sort of see what happens, see how it flows. And it turned out pretty good. I think just for the sergeant to see where you guys are at, courage-wise too, not just about who could hit someone, was just whether, again, Dilly standing up and saying, well, hey, I'll get in and punch on with the boys, not a problem. That he's definitely taken notice of, because it's not something he expected. So
just won't get changed with the boys. That's all good.
Hey, not expecting to either. Chat, same from you. Any moments you guys have got, make sure you sing them out as well at the end of the sessions. As always, we'd love to hear the moments that you guys have seen that maybe we've missed as well. But yeah, so we'll be back next Sunday with session 2. And of course, no worries, Baz, catch up, dude. We'll see you Wednesday. Obviously tomorrow night I'll be back with some more map making stuff. I think we'll be doing the next map in the Hill House Horror Maps series. I've got 3 more maps to do there, so we'll be carrying on with that. Listen to music, make some maps, do the D&D stuff, talk D&D. Back again Wednesday for Curse of Strahd, which is at a bit of a interesting moment with the party managing to escape the Amber Temple, only to come face to face with Lord Strahd and some of his minions. So how that will play out, we will see that on Wednesday, so that'll be interesting. The Satyrs Notebook, Yanti says. Yes, his questions, his notebook, there's going to be an interesting to see how various fares in an army situation with being so inquisitive. Yeah, it might be a certain charm might let him get away with stuff too. So we'll never know. We'll see what happens. Make sure, obviously after Wednesday, we got Thursday night, Pew Pew Thursdays as well. We've got some gaming Tuesdays. I'll be probably doing some Lost Ark this week. I've managed to get onto the Volton server. They opened up the creations again there, although there have been some big queues during the day. At night, they shouldn't be so bad because being a US server.
Huge.
6K. I waited about 15 minutes for a 6K queue this morning, so it wasn't too bad. I mean, 15 minutes isn't bad considering 6,000 in the queue. So at night, it's not so bad. I've been getting in almost straight away at night. Obviously Friday back over on Yanti's channel for some more D&D stuffs with the Stormlord's Wrath. Lots of things going on over there. We got another Leonin joining the group, so that will be no worries, Sadiq. So that is heating up over there as well with some interesting RP. Last session was very, very good. Thank you, JJ. Obviously, make sure you go check out all the friends in the chat as well, guys. We've got several streamers in the chat. Most of you know who they are. They've been shouted out a couple of times tonight. Make sure you go check them out and share the love whenever they're live. For those of you that have joined the Gilded, make sure you link your Twitch accounts to the Gilded, because you will get a automatic shout out whenever you go live in the Gilded. Anyway, it's built into the Gilded thing, so all you got to do is link your Twitch and you're good. Boxwitch, yes, you are late. We're just finishing. We've just come to the end of our session tonight. But join the YouTube, as all of the VODs go up on YouTube within a week. So check the YouTube, do the whole YouTube thing. There's the YouTube, there's the Twitter, there's the Gilded links here, guys. Go check them out. Subscribe to the YouTube. It costs nothing and you'll never miss an episode. Cheers, Blue Jay, for hanging out with us as well, and everyone else in the chat. I hope to see you next session, of course, Wednesday night for Curse of Strahd, and then back here next Sunday for some more of the cool stuff from these guys. We should most definitely raid. I'm just going to turn that off so I can do it from this pooter because it's a lot faster. So who are we going to raid, guys? We got Nico Plays PH, got D&D, we got Wettest Orb, so that's Aussie Devfro. We haven't raided Aussie Devfro for a while. So we're going to go raid Aussie Devfro, guys, another Aussie streamer, I believe. Does some D&D stuffs as well. Make sure you go check them out and make sure you hit the follow button, share the love, let them know you come from Evldoa's raid, and we will see you guys tomorrow for some maps and stuff. Ciao.